Thank you very much. This is a session on effective use of technology to enhance the Takaful operations. And what we want to see is that technology can be deployed and understood in a number of ways to see how it can assist our operations. So if I may call the three panelists, please, to take their place on the rostrum here. Mr. Hansful from 8man, Ali Murtaza from Centegy, please, and Mr. Muhammad Zubair from AlHuda Center for Islamic Banking and Economics. As we heard from many other speakers, including Iqbal, the CEO of Lloyd's itself, that one of the big emerging risks is both the use and abuse of technology. If you don't make proper use of technology, you will be left behind or disintermediated or left completely out of the loop. However, even if you use, the more technology you use, the more exposed you are to other risks, particularly cyber risks and business continuity risks and so on. So we need to square both these angles to make effective use of technology at the same time to take effective measures to secure our technology. So to start with, I want to invite Hansful, who is a recent friend of mine, to try to see what we can do about using technology in a more secure and systematic way.
So, good morning, everybody. My name is Jens Puhle. I'm responsible for the UK operation of 8man. And interestingly enough, I met Iqbal half a year ago, approximately, give or take. I've taken an office near Monument, and I met him there for the first time. And we got into a conversation about Takaful. And I was basically wanting to know more about it. I was inquiring about it, and he wanted to know what my business is about. And we felt that there could be a synergy in this area. So please excuse, I am a newcomer. In principle, I understand everything, but I feel that the technology we have can really build a secure foundation within the Takaful industry. So when I looked into, Iqbal also kind enough gave me a nice book. I read on about the Takaful industry, and when I looked into the Takaful itself, the first thing I noticed was that the Takaful is growing, exponentially growing. And that was very interesting. So with any fast-growing activity, a solid foundation is required. If you don't have a solid foundation, the sector will be built upon flaky practices and open to attacks. I also looked into several surveys and reports, and one I looked into was Deloitte's. And it was a very interesting survey, and it identified the top 10 challenges within the growth, within the Takaful industry. And that's been broken down into 5 segments. Number 1 is governance and regulatory compliance. Number 2 is risk management and internal controls. Number 3 is operational and business excellence, product governance and strategy. Number 5 is capacity building, talent and leadership development. So I found that interesting yesterday. I've taken these are actually my notes from yesterday. Apologies, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was basically saying different regions, different frameworks. Qatar, for example, no specific Takaful regulations. Oman, draft of Takaful law issued in 2015. So I found it interesting, and I stopped writing down at Malaysia because it was just all the regions have different standards, and I think that's something we can really build on. So another quote I found at Deloitte, basically they're saying the insurance industry in general is fast becoming a technology business, so Takaful operators should embrace technology in all operational, sales, and marketing strategies. So when I looked at these challenges, I kind of identified which challenges we can help with technology. So 3 segments, basically, there's technology we can build upon and help. So interesting enough, like any industry you have, if there is an emerging and niche segment, like the global Takaful market, it's estimated now at 2014 at $14.7 billion. I heard different figures yesterday, but I'm taking this from Deloitte. So these are the figures I got from Deloitte. And it's expected to grow by 10.8% within the next 3 years and it's going to reach $20 billion. So the challenge is really with any industry that's growing, it's what about the data you have? If an industry is growing, participants are growing, the operators are growing, the Takaful is growing, everything is growing, the data is growing. And I had an interesting conversation yesterday with a gentleman who isn't here today, and he said, well, look, the data we have in our organization, it wasn't business related in any sense. He said, it's no use to anybody. And then I explained to him, look, credit card details are being sold for pennies online these days. But what about your medical history? It's 20 times more valuable to anybody out there than anything else. So it's really interesting. Any kind of data that's moving anywhere, as Iqbal said yesterday, digital revolution, is something you really need to look into. And you can also say data is today's currency. Everybody is talking about data breaches, and it's really an area we should look into. So that's an interesting slide. I looked at different reports, as I said, PwC. This one is PwC in conjunction with InfoSecurity and HM Government. So on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, you see 2 areas. One is 2014, showing 2015 year-on-year growth, basically what data loss causes. And accidents will happen within any company. Anybody will send out something that shouldn't be sent out. That happened to a company I've been working in 15 years ago. And it just happened, but the most compelling event really is that unauthorized access is the #1 cause of staff-related incidents internally and data breaches. And then I looked, how can this happen? So obviously PwC did that as well. And apparently senior management isn't really taking care of it. So Phil was kind enough to point me to another direction, and he gave me a quote also from PwC. And I'm just going to read this out. It says, 14% of companies have never had a board meeting on cyber incidents, and 32% have never prepared a formal risk assessment. So it gets better. There's a lack of clarity in many companies about who's actually responsible. More than a third of chief executives did not believe it was them, and almost all finance directors thought it was somebody else. Well, who is responsible for it? If nobody feels responsible, then obviously it's not a surprise that the data breaches are on the rise, especially the internal ones. So now this is the worrying part is coming now. If you look at this chart, there's 6 categories also done by the PwC report, and the 6 categories being looked at year by year. And out of these 6, 4 categories are going down. There's one new category, and that is media. So how people identify a breach, an internal breach. And #1 is now media. It's a new category. And I don't think anybody really wants to know from, City AM, Financial Times, next day in a paper that there has been a data breach internally. That's the worrying part. Also the law enforcement, if you look at the law and government, they are obviously now targeting the data breaches because these are on the rise, these statistics. However, the upside is that technology can help. That's a good part. So if you look at this Takaful data movement model I drafted, again, data is data. Data will move around wherever you have a business, wherever an industry is going. The participants' data is processed by the operator, and then it's closely monitored by the Sharia board. Where necessary, is outsourced to a Sharia compliance advisor. Takaful operators are being challenged by great transparency and oversight from different regulatory and self-regulatory organizations. The conundrum is how to be totally transparent to the Sharia board, follow regulations, and also keep the participants' data secure. So from what I can understand, the Sharia board must have unhindered access to all records and transactions of the Takaful operator, management, and employees. I mean, there's a risk in itself. I didn't even include re-Takaful yet. There's another layer to the whole operation if you include the re-Takaful. So the solution of how the technology can help, there's a certain access rights management solution you can put in place and internally secure permission. So Sharia board has access to all the files, which is one click, just to give you an example. The board can be assured that every file on system is exposed, but secure. The operator can be assured that their employees only can access the information suitable to their positions. The participants can be assured that their data will not be breached. So if you look at the benefits for each section, there's a lot of benefits for everybody in there. And if I'm a participant, I'd be wanting my data to be secure. I want to give my information out, I want to hand over the donations, and I want to be in safe hands, if you like. And there's a lot of pressure on the operator itself, and from what I understand yesterday is that we're looking at the new models where the operator can have different funds. So there's a crossover in all directions, and technology, again, can help in order to monitor this. So this is an interesting slide, and I'm going to start off. I did a cybersecurity breakfast meeting approximately 4 weeks ago, and it was in the city, and it was 25 potential clients have been asked to present there. And I thought I'm going to start with something different there, because I'm not just going to say who is 8man, what we do. And I thought, look, if you, by the end of it, was a 2-hour breakfast meeting, there were other people presenting. If you, by the end of this meeting today, you can call your IT guy, you can do it yourself, whatever technology or operation you have in place, by the end of this meeting, you give me not a comprehensive, just a brief overview of who has had access within the last 4 weeks to your systems and who currently has access to your systems, maybe what changes have been made. I'll tell you what, you get the software for free, no matter how big or small a company. So what do you think? Do you think there was one in there who could provide the information? Nobody. 25 different companies, not a single company in that meeting could provide me with a report within 2 hours of which people have access internally to which data. I found that worrying. I mean, it's good for us, but it's a worrying sector, really. And if you look at the technology itself, the software, what we can do, you can create audit reports. I've spoken to a few auditors. I see the eyes lit up when I said what the report will contain. They said, this is great. I'm going to send you an email. This is exactly what we need. You can monitor access. What I also like about this solution is you can hand out temporary access. All automated. So if you have somebody starting next week for 4 weeks, you can put this in your system already, saying this person starts next Monday, put a time in, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and say 4 weeks, he or she is going to leave, and assign permissions to whatever area he or she is working in. This is all automated. So when this person leaves the organization again, you know for 100% sure that this person will not have any access to your organization. Another nice thing is that when, for example, Iqbal decides he has his own business unit now within an operator, we have something that looks like an Amazon shopping cart that when his employees, for example, in his very own business unit say, okay, dear Iqbal, I would like to have access to XYZ, they put this in the system. It's just a very easy login. Iqbal will get the request, and as easy as that, say yes or no. So he's in charge of his own business unit. He's in charge of his own data. Whatever permission he gives out, he can revoke at any time. So what can we do? We can protect from potential data breach. There's another story. I will never mention the company name ever, but there's another story. And these are true, by the way. There's another story I can tell you. We did an installation in a London trading company. And during that installation, it became apparent that every single employee of that organization had access, read and write access to their credit card details. So trading company. The good news was, though, nobody knew about it. So you should have seen the IT guy's face. He was worried about it. He fixed it within 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. So, and I tell you, these things happen over and over again. There's so many stories out there. This is just unbelievable. And that's not by fault. It's not like people want to do it. It's just the way things may be handled in a company. Microsoft also says, we're not going to fix the problem. They say every year we know about it, but it is what it is. We don't really care. So we are PCI DSS compliant, ISO, BSI, PSN compliant. And the good thing about our software is, about our solution, it can really be used by any type of user. So whether you be an IT admin, a C-level, as I try to explain, Iqbal, a business unit owner, it can be used by anybody. So this is really just a brief snapshot of our software. And this is really targeted at the senior management. If you really want to know what's going on in your organization, who has access to what, it's easy as that. You put in the search field the first letters of a finance folder, you put it in. On the left-hand side, you will see all the folders coming up, including the finance folder. And on the right-hand side, you will see boxes ticked for read and write access, full access. You can expand that, and you can see who has access to your files and folders at any time. So if you look at this in a different way, if Iqbal says, okay, 3 people should only have access to my finance folder, then on the bottom 10 suddenly come up, you can go in and see why these people have access to files and folders. They shouldn't have. And you can rectify this within literally minutes. And you can't do this with normal standard Microsoft board tools. It's just impossible. There's so many stories out there, it's crazy, really. So I really want to finish today with one story. It was just before Christmas. I interviewed a very nice lady. She was applying for a telesales position. She used to work for one of the big banks in the city, went to Australia for 2 years, came back, now is working for another big bank. She had no idea what our software is, what our solution does, so she said, has it something to do with passwords? I said, well, yes and no, not really, but kind of. And then she explained, well, when I got back from Australia, remember 2 years later, I still have access to the HR portal of that very big bank I worked before. I can see salaries, I can see anything I want. I said, well, this is actually something we can fix. But just take that away and think about what implication that can have to your business. And again, technology can help. Technology only goes so far, but it's really about building a secure foundation, especially in a market that hasn't been standardized yet. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Jens, for that. I now call upon Ali Murtaza, who is a senior consultant at Centegy Technologies, to give his presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be just taking 5-10 minutes, a brief on Centegy Technologies, and we've been talking over the couple of days, 2 days, about conventional and Takaful. What is the difference between conventional and Takaful? We've been arguing about it, talking differently. So just a bit to start with. Why is Takaful conceived as completely differently from what is conventional insurance? Why do you have so many questions about Sharia? Why are people asking different questions that why is the rate of return less, or different questions about Takaful basically. So these are all the things that come into mind: trust deficit, whether it's true that whether you invest in Sharia compliant funds and everything. So it all depends on the perception of people. How do people perceive to Takaful? What the current situation we need to do is we need to change the perception of people. How can we do that? That is basically through customer engagement. Realizing people what Takaful is, what are the advantages of Takaful. We have seen massive growth in the couple of years. The rate of returns are amazing, beating conventional all through. First I'll tell you what is customer engagement, how can we do it, and then the part of technology in customer engagement. Customer engagement aims at long-term engagement, encouraging customer loyalty and advocacy. Whenever we tell the truth to customer in insurance and Takaful, we need to be loyal. We need to tell what Takaful is. We need to make them believe in Takaful. And they can do that. That is completely possible if we tell them the truth. Customer engagement will lead to customer contribution, stickiness, and advanced competitive advantage. What are the necessary elements that we'll be needing to get these things done? That is enhanced, intelligent, and meaningful interaction with the customers, customer care experience centers where we can call them frequently, telling them about the Takaful advancements, what is happening around the world. We can educate them more, targeted social media campaigns, wellness programs, customer self-service tools, which tells them that how Takaful is different from the conventional insurance. Loyalty reward programs, like Mr. Datu Hassan said yesterday, we need to change the perception by changing the logo. Because there was some Arabic in the logo, he had to change that to get the logo of the people, or to get the perception of the people correct. In the same way, Takaful is not only for Muslims, it's for non-Muslims as well. It's just, the product needs to be correct, the product needs to be perfect, and it can cater to Muslims, non-Muslims. Everything, when this happens, what does it lead to? It leads to a better Takaful industry overall. Over here, the tiger would be the Takaful. So just on a light note. Can we change this? Yes, definitely, we can change this. Takaful can be trustworthy. We can have better participants. We can have increasing customers. We can have better marketing campaigns. We can have more people coming towards this market. We can have better stakeholders, shareholders. This all can be achieved, and I'm hopeful that this will be achieved. Inshallah, by in the next 10 years, we'll see much more growth in the Takaful industry as compared to the last years. How do we achieve this? Here, the technology part comes in, where I'm here to speak about my company, Centegy. So we'll be just, how do we do this? It requires a certain tweak in the philosophy that we have been thinking of. We should focus on long-term mindset. We should focus on retention of the client, not on profits. Yes, company works for long-term profits, but we should keep the interest of the clients in mind also. Establishment of customer advocacy centers, call centers, technology tools and support. We have had a certain talk about will robots be doing the underwriting, and we have been having a bit of talk about it. I'll just tell you that we've done in technology, and I being a technology person, assume and I'm hopeful that yes, underwriters will be replaced by robots, and we have done something that will be that I'll guide a bit about it. Sorry. 99% of any great idea is execution. If we think the execution is there, and we just make it correct, make the things work, yes, we can be successful. A bit about Centegy. Centegy, a lot of you may know, is a sister concern of Centegy, Siddhartha the Murshid Associates, rebranded to Centegy Technologies in December 2011. A leading provider of global solutions for insurance, retail, and banking industry verticals. A specific pedigree in insurance and Takaful industry, consulting and software services. We have 13 implementations across 6 countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Lebanon being one of them. We have excellent relation with all our clients, working with reinsurance as well as insurance companies. Centegy can offer Takaful companies a comprehensive service offering through a single window operation, an unparalleled mix of technology and actuarial service expertise supported by a best-in-class system. We do not only give technology services, but also actuarial services. This is a bit of our product. We understand Takaful. A lot of questions have been raised regarding Takaful. We have done Takaful implementations in Dubai and Saudi Arabia, and we have done great. We have achieved great success in both the countries, from product design and pricing, business plan and organization design, formulas or operational strategies, policies, procedures, establishing risk management and control procedures, definition of system requirements, system implementations, post-go live operation support. All have been achieved in a success time. A bit about intelligent auto underwriting. What we've done at one of our clients in Dubai, usually if the policy of if the client is loaded with, if he's smoking, if he has to be loaded, what we do initially, the policy was to be referred to the bank and the underwriter at the back office. Now what we've done is that automatically the system, through different questions, different loadings that has to be applied, the policy is automatically uploaded or loaded to make it substandard and is issued from the bank branch directly without referring back to the underwriter or to the head office for policy issuance. Usually, this would have taken around 15 or 14 days, depending on the procedure of the bank and the insurance company, how they basically send the documents and everything. But now, with this, it has been like the policy is issued in 1 day. So it's tapping the right customers on the right time. Nobody in this fast-paced world, nobody is having the time. If you have a customer at the bank sitting, willing to buy a Takaful policy, you need to sell that right there. You cannot let him go again and he'll come again back to you. Some of the advantages of automatic underwriting would be better tracking and improved workflow. This way, you know everything how the system is doing, what is the workflow of the system. It will be more effective use of underwriting resources. You can use the reinsurance underwriting resources. You can minimize them and use at a much higher level of underwriting, not at a lower level. Increase consistent decisions. You know, there are many inconsistent decisions which are taken manually by the underwriters. But through the system, if a system is doing underwriting, it would be more consistent decisions. Refined product development. The product would be made better to cater to a certain market. They would reduce paperwork. Paper from one branch and the head office would be reduced. There will be better mortality results, of course, because all these factors, the one mentioned above, would result in better mortality. The promise of data analysis. This is how technology can help. The data that we've gotten from different policies from insurance that will make the mortality rates better and assess you the risk better. It all, in the end, depends on assessing the risk and improving your profits. Just a quote over here, not a quote, but a MOU that Centegy has signed with Munich Re, where Munich Re supports and has verified the intelligent auto underwriting system of Centegy and approved it for its customers. Munich Re is also providing its auto underwriting guidelines, which can be easily incorporated into Centegy's intelligent auto underwriting system. There's one of a reference from Tokyo Marine. The way we see it, Centegy is not just an IT solution provider. They are a business partner with multidisciplinary teams and wide skill set, which can be significant value addition in the implementation of the core administration system. The depth of the specialized insurance knowledge at Centegy is certainly a unique feature that it is hard to find in any other solution provider. These are some of our clients. That would be it. Thank you.
Thank you, Murtaza. As Murtaza said, Centegy, of course, is an offshoot of Siddharth Haidar Murshid, or grown out of that Siddharth Haidar Murshid's technology practice. And the underlying knowledge base of the actuarial side of Siddharth Haidar Murshid on insurance and Takaful obviously is transferred into the technology section. Now, to come back a little bit more to the ground, I would like to just request our friend from AlHuda Islamic Center, Mr. Zubair, to give his impression of how effective use of technology can be made to enhance Takaful. Please.
Nabadu Nasalli La Rasul Kareem. Amabad Fauz Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizer to give me opportunity to participate in this forum. And I'm sure the recommendation of this forum will help out for the development of the Takaful industry globally. On the basis of our experience to work with the Takaful companies in different regions, I have some humble suggestions for IT providers that what should they can do for the development of the Takaful industry. First of all, the IT solution cost should be in cost-effective manners. If the cost of the IT solution is at the higher end, that cost will be definitely bear by the policyholders. And we should also design the strategy of the pricing according to regions and size-wise. For example, if the price of IT solution is about 100,000 USD, it might be a good for Pakistan or Indonesia, where population is more than 200 million. If we sell this solution with the same price in Maldives, where the population is, the target market is about 5 million, 0.5 million. For example, in Mauritius, where market size is very small, about 1.3 million. So how can they afford such solution in a such price? The second one, the IT solution should be Sharia certified. Because the terminology, the Sharia terminology which we are being utilized in the Takaful industry, this is much complex than to the banking industry. For example, in Islamic banking, if we have a ijara, then we have a defined ijara rules or murabia rules. But when we talk about the Takaful, in Takaful we are being utilized different concept. Within one product, we are utilizing the concept of wakala, if the model is wakala, the concept of tabaro, the concept of mudarba, the concept of qarze hasan, and etc. So the IT solution should be fully Sharia certified for the smooth execution of the Takaful products. And it should be different solution for different models. We cannot say that one solution we can utilize this solution for Mudalba model, Wakala model, or Wakala Wak model. We should design different solution according to the model which are being utilized in the Takaful company. We also need to innovate of IT industry for Takaful. For example, if we see banking and finance industry, they have a lot of innovations. They have a mobile banking product. They have online product. They have different app. They have a mobile wallets. But if you see the innovation in the Takaful industry, we have a very limited application for in it. And we also utilized IT for IT of the Takaful industry for financial inclusion. Definitely, IT can play a vital role for our financial inclusion. I give you an example of my country in Pakistan. We have about 190 million population. Our insurance penetration is only 1%. Our banking and financial penetration is about 16%. But more than 90% adults have mobiles. So which is the major role of financial inclusion? Either insurance, banking, or mobile technology? Yes, mobile technology. So we can utilize IT product for the Takaful industry, for the financial inclusion as well. I've been in Somaliland 2 months back, and when I polished my shoes from a hacker, and I want to give money to him for his services, he refused to take that money. He said, "This is my mobile wallet number. You have to transfer money through mobile." I was surprised. I said, "I'm the foreigner here. I do not have this mobile wallet. How can I transfer?" They said, "No." Even I purchased something from the shop. They said the same. Even the car parking of the Al airport, which is the capital of Somaliland, the car parking also, they do not accept the money. They have a mobile wallet number. You have to transfer the money to them. So you can imagine how technology can play a role for financial inclusion. So we can utilize these techniques for the Takaful industry as well. Another critical point is pricing of IT product. The pricing formula should be simplified. Right now in the market practice, IT provider have, or this is the price of the product, this is price of the license, this is the annual maintenance cost, this is the monthly support cost, etc., etc., etc. So we need to design a simplified formula so that the Takaful operator can understand what is the exact cost after 1 year. So, and on the basis of our experience, our last recommendation is that we have to design such product which may utilize limited hardware infrastructure. Because sometimes hardware cost is higher than the cost of the product. So we can design our product either on the cloud basis and some other innovative technology that the Takaful company have a limited expenses for the hardware infrastructure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think that all the 3 panelists will be there at lunchtime after the next session, so you can quiz them. But in the interest of time, I think we want to move to the next session. Can we give a round of applause to the panelists for their... And thank you very much. And then may I hand over to Alberto to start the next session.